here.
Yeah, make sure you
Yeah, hold on.
like go get one of Allie's headbands just to hold all your hair. Why are you going with the fucking Aaron Rodgers look, by the way?
It's not the Aaron Rodgers look. I hate you.
What is it? The fucking John Wick look?
That is what I'm telling my wife, anyways. Yes.
Oh,
Seth is already crying. We're 27 seconds in, and Seth is crying, laughing already. He has said 0 words, the podcast, but he is crying, laughing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been a minute, and Jacob's excited to be here. As you can see, he's leaned forward, he's engaged, he's actively listening, and
I don't know if he's listening to us or his forehead's listening to us.
How are we doing delivery? Okay. This is not Jacob's voice. This is the voice of Jacob's forehead. And he's going to just eat the microphone all night because that's what foreheads do.
Is this exactly what he sounds like when he talks in person?
Oh man, you can tell it's been a while since we've done this. If you're just joining us, thank you guys so much for being here. We will go live here with our actual show here in just a minute. Little bit of housekeeping first and foremost. If you didn't catch the last episode, it is up on YouTube. I haven't done the audio file yet. I'm going to drop it this weekend because 2 weeks ago, Earl and I sat down and we interviewed Coach Steve Familetta from the New Mexico Runners ahead of their upcoming season, which kicks off this weekend. So be sure to follow them across. Are you still talking? Yes, I'm still talking. I just started talking, and we've got a lot more to talk about. But yeah, check that out, Coach Steve Familetta. A lot of interesting stuff. And as we announced last time, we are going to start covering the runners this season. So looking forward to that. And like I said, we'll get that podcast episode up this weekend ahead of those games. So,
Earl, first of all, sorry to interrupt you, but you used that at the worst possible time. Like, there are times when I talk for 5 minutes. And that would have been an appropriate time when I'm ranting about something and have repeated myself 3 times. Then you drop that. But apparently Seth is on happy pills. Because he thinks everything is hysterical tonight.
My God, are you still talking?
As long as you don't get us a copyright strike, I'm good. So
I forgot. I can do that now.
Yes, you can. You do have that.
So suck it, Earl.
Luckily for you, I can unmute myself.
All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. We've got some stuff to talk about this night. I know Earl's got an early night because he has to be here in town in the morning. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this week's show. So stick with us, folks.
I was going to say strap in because it could be a long one after a month off for me. But Earl's an 80-year-old man who has to eat dinner at 4:00 and go to bed at 6. But whatever. We'll work. We'll deal with it, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Joining me tonight, we've got a full house. The whole gang is here. Jacob Terrell, Earl Nieto. Guys, I'm excited. We got some stuff to talk about. Some roster news is happening. The USL winter meetings have kicked off down in Tampa. And there's some things we got to talk about this week. But before we get into that, I do have what could be the most controversial burning question of all time for you guys tonight. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes. Hey, did you know?
Okay.
Hey, did you know that turtles can breathe out of their butts?
I did, thanks to Just Endangered Nunley.
It's called cloacal respiration.
That is true. That is very true. So Earl gave his answer. Jacob, Jacob's trying.
I agreed.
Okay.
I agreed.
Jacob agrees. I agree too. I think it is, and I've seen this pop up quite a bit across social media about is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And if you are with us here on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, please drop your questions and comments over in the chat. Would love to get your thoughts on this as well. Now, the way, obviously some people say it's not a Christmas movie because it could happen at any point in time. But really, if you look at it, and this is the argument that I saw that really, and I've always been a diehard fan. This is a Christmas movie to me. What other time of year does a company really get all their employees together? Because you can't set that at like a 4th of July. You can't set that at Easter. You can't do that at Thanksgiving because companies don't do that. It's the big end of the year thing. You get everybody together. And so, yeah, I think it absolutely is a Christmas movie, and you can't set it at any other time of the year.
Agreed. Let's move on.
Okay.
It was the least controversial one that you've asked us, anyways, because we all agreed
Yeah.
within 2 seconds. And to me, it's not a debate. And if you think it's not, then go watch whatever you want to watch and call it a Christmas.
So, I on a real talk, I do know what I want for Christmas. And I'll
Okay.
put this out there for you guys.
a striker, because that's what I want.
You want a what?
A striker, a goal scorer, a forward.
Strike on box matches. That's what he wants.
Oh, so what I want is let me see here. Let me see. Sorry, I was trying to find it. I want a Turbo Man. Get me a Turbo Man.
A Turbo Man doll. I think we might be able to find one. Apparently that movie's making a comeback this year. I've seen that all
we
over
watched
the
it for the
place.
first time. My wife did for the first time.
Okay, I was gonna say if you've never seen it, like that was like when you were like 3 when that came out.
Yeah, but I
-3.
have seen
It
it.
was -3. He was not even thought of yet.
I fucking hate this guy. I was actually 3 years old when it came out. It was in '96. When there was a young Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Let's say what he would have been 40 something or 30 something.
Like
in
I work for the
96?
state. I'm terrible at math.
I just want to know what the hell's going on right now. Why have we started a show, the first show in over a month for all 3 of us, with is Die Hard a Christmas movie, and then talking about a movie that I know what you're talking about, but I cannot think of the name of the movie.
Jingle all the
Jingle
way.
all the way.
Yes.
Yeah, so
No,
You're the old one in the group.
No, he's not.
Seth is. Seth is the oldest of us.
I don't care how old Seth is. You're the one who had to go to bed at like 7:15 last time, knowing that we had like the special guest coming on, knowing it was a Wednesday night, and yet you still text us, "Hey, sorry guys, I gotta go to bed. Work beat me up." And then, so I found a clip about you talking this week. Listen here, you jackass. So I found a clip of you talking this past week in the text, and for whatever reason, it read it back to me. And this is exactly what it sounded like. Shh. Hang on. What the hell?
This is a riveting
Technical errors.
podcast.
Hey, shut
Riveting
your mouth.
podcast.
Yeah, you wouldn't know because you weren't here last time.
Earl's having some technical difficulties apparently.
We had a guest. I was not needed.
Hey, I found it.
I'm freaking out, man. You are freaking out, man.
We're just off to an awesome start tonight.
I don't even know what's going on. I feel like I'm on shrooms, even though I'm not on shrooms. I feel like Earl
Did his homework.
He has a month's worth of quote unquote burns because they don't burn. They don't even really sting. They're kind of just like a fly that won't go away. But he's got like a month of them saved up, and he's gonna waste all of them in the first 5 minutes of this podcast. And I don't know what to do with that information.
Well, so before we get into the rest of the show, there is one thing I do want to ask you guys. So you guys know that I've got a different situation this year. And as you can see, I've got my Christmas tree behind me here. If you guys can see that.
Yep.
So I went out to buy a Christmas tree this year, and I could not find one anywhere. Home Depot was sold out. Lowe's was sold out. Everywhere is sold out of all this Christmas stuff, like Christmas trees, also on the shelf, all kinds of stuff. So I went online. Walmart had this tree on sale for $39. Clicked on it, put it in the cart. It was green. When I put it in the cart, it was green when I hit checkout. When I got my email saying we got your order, it said black. That is a black Christmas tree.
So you ordered a Christmas tree?
Yes. I had to order one. I couldn't find one in the store.
And I knew that mute button was coming.
And so I thought it was really strange. Like, why? Who in the world would come up with the bright idea to make a black Christmas tree? But we got
The
together.
pagans. The pagans.
Yeah, obviously. So me and the boys got to put together, put the ornaments on. Unless you like get up right next to it and really look at it, you can't tell that it's black.
I can't tell from here.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just strange. Like, has it felt weird to you guys this year being out looking in the stores and seeing just like how much shit's just sold out everywhere?
We don't have stores in Fort Sumner, so
Well, your barn, your stable out there, you know.
We don't
Well,
have
we have-
stores either. They burn our Walmart down.
oh, fair. Is it still closed?
Nope. It smells like
It's a-
burnt Barbies.
How do you? Never mind. We're not going to go to how Earl knows about what the smell of burnt Barbies is, but we're just going to slide right past that, and we're going to move on to. I don't know this. Out off air, I will tell you about my last month, because while you guys think I was just prancing around having the time of my life, it has been good times, but there's also been a lot of shit that's going on. So, like I said, we'll chat about that off air. But for the most part, it's been pretty normal. It's just been like I literally dug the Christmas tree out of the closet today and put it up, but it is not decorated yet. It is up and standing in the living room naked, much like Earl on a Saturday morning. Nothing. Okay, just a slight chuckle.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd think it funnier if my forehead said it, much like Earl on a Saturday morning. No, okay. Yeah. So it hasn't felt much different to me. And the stores that I have been in, because we were in Berlin and Los Lunas this past weekend, they had stuff for the most part. So I have not noticed, but I don't live in a big metropolis like Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, the giant metro that I have here. But yeah, no, me and the boys just put this up yesterday. Like, you know, I felt no rush to put it. Well, number one, I had to order it, you know, so it didn't get here until last week. But yeah, it's just I felt no rush this year to get everything up and do all that. I mean, you know, it's felt different. Like you go into the stores and like, yeah, there's stuff, but you know, like I had to go into Target earlier because my son had an assignment and we could not for the life of us find any like Batman or Robin action figures that he needed for his assignment. So I ran into Target, picked up a Batman and Robin, and like the Lego aisles are completely empty, but there's all sorts of everything else.
Okay, so I will say that the toy sections of the Walmart that I was in this weekend, while not empty, was barer than usual.
Yeah, certain stores have done a better job, in my opinion. Like the Uptown Target's done pretty well at keeping stuff in, but like other stores, it's just like empty. Like there's just nothing on the shelves.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It just felt weird. Like I've done so much of my preparation for Christmas this year, either through online shopping or like do like the order pickup. So I don't even have to go in the stores. So anyway, I just thought I'd ask, see what you guys, you know, how it felt getting ready, because obviously we're not gonna have a show next week. You know, we're gonna take the week off to enjoy the holidays, and so yeah. I mean, are you guys ready? I mean, Earl, you don't have kids. I mean, unless you count yourself. But are you done shopping? Are you guys ready?
Yeah, we actually are ready. So I bought my wife Christmas gifts. It's actually in this here closet. So hopefully she's not watching to come into this here closet, because then I'm fucked.
5 seconds later, she's gonna pop in behind him and open that closet door.
Yeah, I know. No, this weekend we kind of went on a Christmas spending spree for each other. She got me a new phone, which is on its way tomorrow. I'll have it by tomorrow. She got AirPod Pros. I got AirPod 3rd generations. What else did we get? We spent a bunch of money. Yeah, so we're done Christmas shopping, thank God. And I'm gonna try to find out. I'm trying to find a clip of us shopping. It was not fun.
Well, while you try to
Give
do
me a
that,
minute.
Jacob,
Talk
what
about
about you? Are you guys done? Are the kids excited? Or
Oh, the kids are pumped, of course, but I haven't had a second to breathe since before Thanksgiving. So we are. I think we're basically ready, but I know we have to get my mom. I think we know what we're going to get my mom. We just haven't done it yet. Me and Allie aren't really doing gifts for each other this year because we spent 5 nights in Vegas. But the boys are done. All of the kids are done, I should say. All 3 of them. Well, yeah, that's an off-air topic. I think everybody's done. We have one party that I need to buy white elephant gifts for. And then we actually have to pick up the mother and the mother-in-laws. And then I think we're done with that. But nothing is wrapped. Some of it's not here yet. Like I said, the tree is up but naked. We're leaving next Thursday or Wednesday night to go to Las Lunas for the holidays. So I was kind of like, why am I even putting up a tree if we're not going to be here? But the kids won out and I am going to do that. So yeah, it's just been nonstop. And I think we're almost there. I'll be happy. New Year's weekend, I'm spending it at the cabin with my phone turned off. So I'm just thinking about there.
nice.
A little bit of Christmas Day and then thinking about after that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm done with the boys got their stuff done. I keep finding little bits here and there. I didn't really give them a lot of leeway on like what to ask for. I gave them the Target toy book. I said circle some stuff. And the big thing that they both asked for is Pokemon cards, which you cannot find anywhere.
Dude, they are a huge thing right now.
Yes,
they
yes,
came back so hard.
Yeah, 25th anniversary Pokemon. Like it hit hard this year.
25 years.
Yeah, 25
Holy
years.
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ask Jacob, I wasn't even born yet.
You are minus 10 seconds.
Anyways, I found our clip about our spending spree this weekend,
Okay.
and it's something like this.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money.
Did you guys like win the lottery or?
No. We did
Oh,
not
it's
win
that
the
new
lottery.
job, huh? It's the new job that you complain about.
Yeah,
nonstop.
sure. The new job that's giving me all kinds of fucking white hairs and stress. Yeah.
Hey, but it got
Welcome
you a
to
phone.
adulting, Earl.
Yeah, welcome to the grown-up table.
And sorry, that music there, Earl. I just got to ask real quick: is there any reason to watch WWE minor leagues? Because I tried watching War Games, and I turned it off 10 minutes, and I said I can't do it.
So NXT used to be fun watching when there was like Finn Balor there, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, Karrion Kross, all the fun people to watch. The last 2 that I was watching was like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. But now that Johnny Gargano's leaving because he's having a kid, it's not worth watching.
Okay, I was just wondering because, like I said, I tried to watch War Games, and it just did nothing for me at all. Like the announcers were terrible. The matches
announcers
were
are
not that
garbage.
interesting. So
If you're looking for good announcing, I highly recommend watching
AEW.
SmackDown. Nope, SmackDown, because you get Pat McAfee, who's freaking incredible. I love
Yeah.
Pat McAfee to death. He and Jacob's gonna be a smartass here, so
It's like he's trying to speak to me. I know it. You know, you're really cute.
That's me right now. I'm just
Anyways,
like,
so yeah.
mhm. The only thing I will say is the Pat McAfee Who did he get into it with? Who did he punt? I don't know how long ago this was. I saw a clip of it
Oh,
on NXT,
must
and
be
he
super
like
long ago.
he like kicked the crap out of some dude that was trying to get him. Some guy went on the radio show and blew up at McAfee, and then
Oh no, my favorite thing right now with Pat McAfee is his Shinsuke Nakamura dance. So in case you don't know what Shinsuke Nakamura's song is, I highly recommend you put it on your
guys, guys, we're 20 minutes in. It's supposed to be a short podcast for Earl's sake. Why are we doing this right now?
You know what? I'm taking a risk and I'm having fun because it's been a fucking month and Jacob's big forehead is back, so that's why I'm happy. So on that note, here's what we're gonna do here. And it's at this point. Let me just put this down right here. I'm gonna try to do this without killing myself. And for those people watching on Facebook, I'm so sorry. This is my chair. That's Pat McAfee. Exactly. I'm pretty sure I just pulled like a fucking spleen or something. That was not fun. Anyways, carry on while I stuff her over here.
Oh man, this show has never gotten on the rails.
What are we
But-
doing?
I don't even know. You know, we're having some fun. You know, we haven't done
Are
this
we?
in a while.
Are we though?
Yes, we're having some fun.
Look. This is our Christmas edition
Yeah, there you
of
go.
Somos Moss, where we have some random white dude with glasses. We have Seth, and then we have
Oh, I
John
thought that
Wick.
was Seth. I thought that was Seth. I thought Seth was some random dude in glasses.
No, we have John Wick, so we're good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, last time we had freaking Coach Steve. This week we have fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you so much.
All right. Well, we do have
So
some New Mexico United.
It's either Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning.
Go ahead, Seth.
We do have some New Mexico United news and some other things to talk about. First and foremost, we want to say congratulations to former New Mexico United goalkeeper and reserve keeper for NYCFC, Cody Mizell. NYCFC, of course, won the MLS Cup this past week. So congratulations to him and their team on winning it. Just goes to show you that USL keepers are absolutely worth it. They're worth that call up to the MLS level. And so congratulations to them. Congratulations to Cody.
Okay, hold on. I love Cody to death.
Yeah.
But
I know
I
he didn't
don't-
play a single minute.
I don't believe he played a single
No.
minute in between the goalposts. So let's take that down just a notch.
Yeah,
I don't want
no.
Jerry to be clipping this and then putting it to Ketterer highlights or some stupid shit.
Oh man, but no, yeah. Congratulations to Cody. Congratulations to NYCFC on the MLS Cup. Also, congratulations to Orange County. Orange County went out and beat Tampa Bay Rowdies in the USL Cup.
God, that was so long ago.
I know it feels like we didn't even talk about it. Like we didn't talk about it at all the last show because we thought we on our last episode we talked to Coach Steve Familetta from the New Mexico Runners, and so congratulations to Orange County FC or SC. I apologize, Orange County. They even gave credit to Chris Wehan on their social media posts. So Bees, of course, did come over mid-season from them. So congratulations to them winning the Western Conference, winning the USL championship for the year.
Yeah. So I think I have a way for us to make money, guys.
Okay.
I think Las Vegas is way out of their league when it comes to USL Championship soccer.
Which is why they're going to MLS.
Who?
Las Vegas.
No. Las Vegas as in the casinos.
Oh, okay.
Because they had Orange County as a massive underdog,
Mhm.
which I mean, I could kind of see, but the USL Championship, as we've learned, is kind of crazy when it comes to the playoffs. And so they had him out as a massive underdog, and I laid some money on him and won a decent amount. And I think next year, one of us goes to Vegas once a month and just makes a bunch of USL bets. And then we win money. That's my goal. And I seriously think it could be there could be something there because they probably don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. And for us weirdos that like live and die by it, we might have a slight edge. Just a
Entirely
little one.
possible, and that may not be a bad idea.
So, just for a thought for next year. But yeah, so again, like you said, congratulations to Orange County. I was happy, like I said, a few $100s there in my pocket because of them. Paid for my ridiculously expensive anniversary dinner, and I was happy. I generally root for the West, anyways, unless it's Phoenix. So I was happy with the outcome for lots of reasons.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty fun match to watch too. And yeah, like I mentioned at the top of the show, the USL Winter Meetings kicked off today down in Tampa.
Today.
I've been looking around to try to find some leaks and things coming out of that. Nothing that I found so far. Supposedly they're going to be talking about Pro Rel. Supposedly they're going to be talking about changing the schedule. So we'll wait and see. We're going to try to get Pete on here after the holidays and talk to him and see what's going on. We're going to try to talk to some other folks. But in more New Mexico United, directly related news, more roster news has come out. But we'll start with the departures. Earl, I know you're going to be disappointed by this first one. It came out the other day that Juan Pablo Guzman is not having his contract renewed, and he will be moving on at the end after the season. So let's take a minute and we'll reminisce, about all the good things that Juan Pablo has brought.
Okay, good enough. Okay, good enough.
No, you guys.
So no,
seriously.
I would have missed that comment or missed that post because it was so past my bedtime. Had it not been for a good friend of mine named Sombrero Man, who is now on Twitter. So if you know Sombrero Man, go find him on Twitter.
Even if you don't know him, go find him on Twitter.
Yeah, even if you don't know him, he only has one follower, maybe two now because I had to go follow him on Twitter. So maybe two. So go find Sombrero Man on Twitter. And I'm trying to get all this in before Jacob fucking mutes me.
As long as you're not being stupid, I won't mute you, Earl.
So I actually was not upset about this, and I was very excited. So I don't even want to give him airtime, so let's go and move on to the next one.
No, we have to pay homage to
Well,
him.
no, I think we have to at least say something. He came in year one, and for as poorly as he played at times this season, I feel like he was a presence there in the midfield those first two seasons, and then we did see that decline. But he'll always be remembered as one of the first players to come into the club and a guy that was really held that midfield role for 2 solid years.
Did you watch the first 2 seasons?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Because I thought, now, to be completely honest, I could be a little tiny biased here, but I thought Tony Soler should have played over him in year one way more than he did. But that aside, he is part of year one, which year one, I think we need to do an off-season podcast about year one because it is always going to have a giant spot in my heart. And every player, including Juan Pablo Guzman, from that first roster will hold something will mean something to me. Year 3, Juan Pablo Guzman, good riddance. Let's reminisce over the good times, like when he passed the ball to the other team 5 times, gave up several goals. There was that great Colorado Springs match where he single-handedly almost lost it for us. Just great times for the other teams when Juan Pablo Guzman was on the pitch this year. And I really, really know that they're going to be very sad knowing that those 7 turnovers per game aren't going to be there anymore. But seriously, though, great guy as far as off the pitch from everything that I have dealt with and seen and heard. And I do hope the best for him. I hope he can find a place where he can play well again, or retire and live with his wife in Colombia. I don't know. Whatever he decides to do, whatever avenue he decides to take, I just hope he does it well and has a good time.
Yep. And that brings us to the next departure this year. And this is one that I did not see coming. I don't think any of us saw it coming, especially the manner in which it happened. Justin Schmidt, another year one player, has decided to leave the club, and he is joining the United States Army. Which, I mean, this came out of left field. I mean, we were all expecting Schmidt to be back. And you know, I think we can all agree, like, he didn't necessarily have the greatest year this year, but in his history with United, he's always been a solid player. He's dealt with some personal stuff, you know, off the field, you know, with family losses and things like that, and so, you know, in the interview that he gave, he said that this was something that he felt like he was being called to do, and so, you know, we put it on social media. You know, thank you, Justin, for volunteering to do this. I mean, it takes a real fucking man. You know, it takes someone with some fucking balls to go out there and sign up to serve and defend your country. And so, you know, Justin, you know, thank you for that, and thank you for 3 years being here with the black and yellow. So, I mean, what were you guys' thoughts when this announcement hit?
I don't think him leaving necessarily was a surprise. I don't think him retiring or moving away from soccer, at least for now, was a huge surprise. He's not a name that we had necessarily heard was coming back. But I think just because he's from New Mexico, we figured he was still going to play soccer. And if he was still going to play soccer, he was going to play for us. But the Army thing, how old is Schmidt? 29?
28.
28?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I've always loved about Schmidt is his faithfulness to God and his openness about his faith and in that message that he had to the team, that's what he said, was he felt like God was calling him there. And I understand that completely. It's why I'm in Fort Sumner instead of Las Lunas right now. And so while my journey doesn't involve me risking my life to serve my country, I still know what it's like to be called to do something that's a little scary and a little makes you a little uncertain. So kudos to him times 1,000. And I can't wait to maybe get him on the podcast after the fact and talk about that decision and talk about how his Army life is and just in general. I mean, he has often been my favorite person on Mexico United. Not always my favorite player on the pitch, like we talked about. I feel like he did better this year than he did for most of year one. But, you know, year one, you talked about the personal issues, lost his dad in a car accident. His mom was in the hospital for quite a while. Then year two, he played one match, injures his foot, is out for the rest of the season. So the dude's definitely gone through some shit since coming to New Mexico United. So I just wish him the best and wish him a safe journey there, and that everything goes smoothly, and he can come back to New Mexico one day and coach, or hell, depending on how long he's going to serve, he could come back and play again. He'd probably be in better shape than I am at 32 if he serves for 4 years. That's for sure.
Yeah. Earl, what were your thoughts?
I was actually surprised. I was actually sitting at a desk in Albuquerque when, for whatever reason, I decided to open up my Facebook.
The reason is because it's there, and it's like a natural instinct to just do it.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. So I sat at the desk, and I was actually supposed to be coaching someone, and I pulled up Facebook and said it, and I saw it, and I was like, okay. And before I even opened up the YouTube clip, I assumed that he was just retiring or not coming back. I do know he works at a local brewery, so I figured he was just gonna continue with beer in his life and not not play soccer anymore. And then I actually watched a YouTube video. I was like, oh shit, okay, that's pretty fucking cool. That's definitely more balls than I'll ever have, because I work for the state in an office, not in some battlefield in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Years ago, I had a conversation with my grandparents, and my grandparents were of the opinion that every young person should serve. That it should be mandated that every young person serve. And I know there are some countries around the world where military service is mandatory. I know, Jacob, you're familiar. You're a Spurs fan, obviously. Son, he had to go do mandatory service, I believe. And so, for anyone, like, I have family serve in the past. I've had friends that serve. I never served. That wasn't my calling in life. But for anyone to take that step, to follow that path, and I think it's just incredible. For Justin to do it, especially at 28, to make such a drastic change in his life, it takes a lot of guts, man. It really does. And so, I think we're all in agreement here. We certainly all wish Justin the best, and he will always be black and yellow. He'll always be year one. And so it's rosters change, people move on, people make changes in their lives, and I know that we'll always support the guys that gave everything they could to the black and yellow, and then that type of service is just outstanding. So on to other roster news. We did have some players come in as well. Well, I won't say come in, but we had some guys get re-signed for 2022. Alex Tambakis will be back. Rashid Tete will be back. And the latest announcement that came out earlier this week was Sam Hamilton will be back for 2022. And the club is teasing someone else currently over on their social media. I know that we are I think, I can't remember which one of you suggested it either being Sergio or Andrew Tenari. And the picture to me looks like Tenari. I think he would be a good guy to bring back for 2022. Looking at the guys that have been re-signed, any surprises here? And do you guys think that I'm wrong in thinking it's Tenari?
No, I mean, it definitely looks like Tenari for sure. So back when Zach Prince was announced, you sent us a list of names.
Mm-hmm.
Is that open to talk about, or?
We've talked about it, but we haven't
Well, I won't mention any of the names that you sent, but Bruce is the only one that I think has been officially announced from the list that you sent.
Mm-hmm.
And so you also said something about 11 to 13 guys coming back, and with the ones that we have, the ones that they announced, we're already at like that 13 mark. If indeed tomorrow is Tenari, that's one that we had not heard of. So I feel like have a decent grasp on what the returners are, which is exciting. But like I mentioned in the group chat, man, I want to see some new faces already. Like, teams are already making moves for new faces, and several teams that we have friendly rivalries with or downright rivalries with have announced, big names for the USL stake anyways, moving teams. And I am very excited about the returning players that we have and that they have announced and that they are going to continue to announce. But give us something new before Christmas, man. Like, we need something, anything. I need, like, last year before Christmas, they had announced at least one new player. So hopefully we get something in the next few days that's a new player. And it really bugs me that they didn't just, like, after year one, they were just like, hey, here's the 13 players that are coming back all in one post. And this one, and now they're like, oh no, we got to milk this shit. The Instagram algorithms are too good to pass up with these. Oh, we're going to put a silhouette up. You guys figure it out. And comments and likes and stuff blows up and gets all the attention, and I get all that, but man, is it frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I get that. And I know that there are folks across social media, kind of the same boat that you are, wanting to see some new players, new faces. And so there was actually a comment over on Twitter. I think it was either on the Alex or it was on the Sam tease. Someone said, I had responded to the comment and I said, okay, well, let's take a look at the roster turnover, because they were like begging for new players. Why the same roster every year? And so I put out just a little tweet. I said, let's look at roster turnover. From year 1 to year 2, we brought in 8 new players. From year 2 to year 3, we brought in 9 new players. I said, there's always going to be turnover, but it's not a realistic expectation for them to turn over 23 players.
Well, that's so I don't know if I came off like that, but that's not what I want. I don't want more turnover. I just want an announcement for a new player to give us something before Christmas. But I think just the opposite. Like, I think you need that core group of guys, that 10, 12, 13 players that are familiar with everybody, familiar with playing at the lab, familiar with the opponents that we typically face, and can really gel and come together as a group. And then you bring new pieces in to complement those players. Or like what I'm freaking out about is that, as we've talked about, goal scorers, most of them have a little bit different mentality than other soccer players. They're a little cocky. They're a little self-centered. They're a little me. And that's not what this team is about. But we need goal scorers. So how many times are we going to have to swing and miss at goal scorers, hoping that they come in and mesh well, but instead they come in with the me attitude? And is that going to continue to hinder us until we find the perfect match, or until we adapt a little bit and say, okay, we can have this me guy. That's what we need, because he's putting the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that we're going to be watching here throughout the offseason. We still don't know we don't know the status of Brian Brown. We don't know the status of Ilya Illich. We know the status of Brian Brown. He is under contract for another year. Yeah.
And he isn't loaned out anymore at the moment. That doesn't mean we won't loan him out again. But the current status,
or transfer him.
Yeah. The current status is he is a New Mexico United player under contract for next year.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. We know that Christian Nava is, of course, signed to the first team for next year. We know that Armando is under contract for next year. We know that
2 more years, actually.
Yeah, 2 more years. I'm just speaking in general, and then we know that Dev is under contract for next year.
Was that announced?
It wasn't announced, but
so
we're fairly certain that Dev.
I mean, I think he has a lifetime contract. So
probably.
We also know Kalen's coming back.
Yeah, Kalen. Yeah, that's already been announced.
We know Bees is coming back, and actually, Kalen, Amando, and Bees are all announced through 2023.
Yeah, and I believe Christian Nava is as well. So.
Yeah, agreed. And then who else have they announced? Sam, Alex,
Bruce, Rosh, Alex.
Oh, Rashid. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so, and then we know Schmidt and JPG are gone.
Yeah, and Austin's under contract too. So,
there's several that I could name that I know are under contract, but I don't know if it's supposed to be public knowledge.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's already been. I think it's public about Austin, but because I believe it's up on his agent's his agency's website that he was signed through next season. So that is out there. So I mean, we've got guys that we know are coming back. We have you mentioned the list of guys I sent. We know that there's going to be somewhere around 11 to 13 guys coming back, somewhere in that neighborhood. They haven't all been announced yet. We know some of them have been.
So we have now Bees, Mondo, Kalen, Nava, Bruce, Sheed, Alex, Yearwood
Mhm.
tomorrow, and then we assume Dev. Brian Brown's already under contract.
I believe Sergio's under contract too.
Yeah, I think there's. Let's see.
From the list you sent,
1, 2, 3, 4 other players that have yet to be announced. That the list that Seth sent after that press conference. So we're already at 14, right there. But one of those is Brown, and we don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a fairly healthy group of returning players, and a good core. I'm happy with the decisions they made. Hell, just not having Juan Pablo Guzman take minutes is going to be a bonus for the most part.
Earl, what's your take on the latest round of re-signings or the latest round of announcements? Do you feel like these players are worth the next year, or do you feel like we should have moved on from any of them?
I think we're good. The one that everyone knows who I wanted us to move on from was an early Christmas gift for me, so I'm happy
Yeah.
there. I mean, anyone else that doesn't come back, I'm okay with it.
I mean, there's
I got what I needed.
yeah, there's. I think Alex coming back, despite what Earl says, is a huge move for us. I'm happy with that. And that was one that, wasn't on the list that Seth sent. Hadn't really heard anything. I kind of assumed we would bring him back, but you just never know. And then they tweeted the brick wall, and then they had to backtrack the brick wall, and then they announced the brick wall. And so I think from before Thanksgiving, we kind of knew he was coming back. They just hadn't officially announced it. So
I do need to give a shout out to our good friend Casey, because he did call me out on the post, like a jerk,
did he really? Oh, I missed it.
and said that my boy was coming back, and we all know how much I love him. After our
fair,
conversation,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. To be fair, after the Casey conversation, you warmed up a little bit. You still text us every once in a while and go, "What the hell did you do that for?" And we just hung our heads and face palmed. But you did warm up.
so after our Casey conversation, I did decide to lay off of him a little bit more and let him make his stupid decisions. But it's all right. He's the one that gets paid. Actually, let me see. He's the one worth like $175,000, whatever. And I'm not yet.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
No, when I die, I'm worth 500,000. So take that, Alex.
Wow. Wow. I don't.
Let me ask you guys
Anyways.
this. So after Justin's announcement, there was a comment over on Reddit talking about the player salaries and how there's a chance that some of these guys are barely making minimum wage and this, that, and the other. Now the club has already, Peter has already come out and said that the club is committed to paying a living wage to every single employee within the organization. Is there any chance that these guys are not making at least, say, 75, 80 grand?
Oh yeah. No, they're making. I don't know about like the
Maybe not like Christian or
yeah, but I think so. From my understanding, now this could have changed because the player that I've heard it from played in the league a couple years ago and hasn't played the last couple years. But he said, tops, your average, slightly above average players are going to make like 40 a year.
Okay.
Now, it's probably gone up. I think New Mexico United probably has bumped up theirs a little bit more than maybe other teams, but I think you might have Kalen Amando Bees making 75, 80, 100, somewhere up there. But I don't think Juan Pablo Guzman was making more than 40, 35. I don't think Yearwood or Sheed were super high up there. So I wish the USL would just have this shit public. I understand to an extent the not necessarily wanting to broadcast what you make. I also think that's a really outdated and old way of thinking, and I don't think people really care. I don't think if it comes out Kalen's making 100,000 and Austin's making 35, at least last year, I don't think that's going to cause a rift between the two of them. But if it is, that's their problem. Like they need to figure that out. So, I don't know. It's just dumb to me that it's not out there in public. I mean, it would just help us out to know, like, oh, okay, this is what his value is on the open market in the USL. Like, just let us know. Like, a lot of us will eat that shit up. Like, if I had a salary sheet in front of me that had like the whole league's salaries and players on there, I would go through that all the time and be like, huh. And then maybe we could sit here and go, oh, I wonder if we can afford this guy or that guy, or can we afford to bring these guys back? It'd just make for more talking points and be more interesting.
Yeah, I think we all agree the league needs more transparency. It's something we've talked about a lot. I'm trying to find the infographic they put out showing what the pay rates and all that was going to be. Let's see if I can find it.
While he's doing that, I will bring up a couple other
Okay, here we go.
That didn't take me longer than I thought.
Thank you to Jeff Reuter and the Athletic.
Oh yeah, of course.
So the new USL Championship CBA minimum compensation. So on a standard contract, a player would make $2,700 a month in 2022. That then gets bumped.
Is that per month of the season or per month of the year?
I would say for the length of the contract, the league year, I believe.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if it actually says that in here anywhere. So the heart of the deal is its economic baselines, which are going to affect ahead of the 2022 season. The drafted CBA establishes minimum compensation for championship players, with the majority of players earning a minimum of $2,700 per month next season. The minimum compensation would be a combination of a player's wages as well as any bonuses, any team-provided housing, and medical insurance. Additionally, clubs will have 6 flex contracts at lower compensation rates for players who may not otherwise be signed under the new structure. So on a standard contract starting in 2022, it's $2,700 a month. 2023, $2,750. 2024, $2,900. 2025, $3,100.
So did I understand that $2,700 a month is not the cash that they will receive, but it is cash plus housing plus medical insurance plus
bonuses? Yeah,
bonuses.
Yeah. Now, and then a flex contract is $2,200, $2,250, $2,400, and $2,600 over the same calendar years.
And the $2,700 is the minimum?
Yeah, $2,700 is the minimum.
Okay.
These numbers represent a significant increase over what's been standard payment practices across the USL over the past decade. Teams again signed players to contracts without any guaranteed payment in the 2021 season, sources tell The Athletic, instead offering bonus-laden deals based on performance and mandatory public appearances. Considering contracts like these, as well as those earning less than $2,700 a month, the new minimum compensation would immediately improve wages for at least 25% of all current championship players. And then mandatory 10-month minimum length of contracts is coming into the new CBA. And then there's also going to be a per diem that's going to be given to players. Currently, most clubs that do offer per diem reimburse the players after the fact. The second is a greater structure for player appearances on behalf of their clubs. So, I mean, if you're making $2,700 a month You play what, March to November. That's 9 months. So that's almost $27,000.
I think we say 10 months because I mean they go all
like
through
February.
Yeah. So I think we say 10 months out of the year. So that's 27,000 minimum. Of course, that's not necessarily cash, like we said. So that, I mean, medical insurance is expensive as hell.
Yeah. It
So
is.
I don't know what that would actually equal in cash payment. But I mean, if your housing's getting taken care of, then that's a significant chunk of your expenses that's not there. So
I don't even bring home $2,700 a month.
I don't.
Yeah.
No. So that is that's decent. That's workable. And if that's the minimum, then that's good.
Yeah.
I like that being in the minimum. I'm very curious to see. Well, we can do a deep dive on the CBA and everything that it entails and how it would affect smaller clubs and everything at a later date. But yeah, I am glad it's getting done.
Yeah. So, the question was about, is Justin leaving, because of salary and all this kind of stuff. I said, and I commented, said, we do know that Justin was also working at a certain brewery here in town. We knew that. Most folks knew that as well.
But so to me, that wasn't about making money. To me, that was a passion project.
Yeah.
He just liked doing it.
Yeah, and I said, I don't think Justin's leaving because of the money. I think that he's leaving because he truly feels called to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just thought that would be an interesting question. I mean, Earl, do you feel like the players are being fairly compensated, or do you think that there needs to be more in this? Like, does the salary need to be? Does the 27? Do you guys think maybe the 2,700 needs to be a minimum on top of player housing and insurance and all that kind of stuff, or do you think it's fine the way it is?
I would like to see that on top of the housing and salary and insurances and all that fun stuff. I know for one, I mean, going home with 27,000 and then having to pay for everything else, you're not making much. 27,000 already is about 13, 14 bucks an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the amount of work that these guys are putting in to make 14 bucks an hour, it's not really fair. And then you take that 14 bucks an hour. Now you have to pay travel expenses if you're moving out here, or pay housing costs because the housing market out in Albuquerque is just stupidly ridiculous. I don't think it's fair. I think they should be making more on top. So I think they should be making more with all that included, or wait, hold on. Let me backtrack. I think they should be making more without that included, or keep the same and include everything else into it.
Jacob, do you think it's? I mean, you've already kind of said, but what do you think about Earl's take here? Should it be on top of the housing and the insurance, or do you think it's fine the way it is?
I mean, I don't know what they're taking out for housing and insurance, so I don't know. The lack of transparency and whatnot just makes it hard to really comment on it. I have a family of 4, and I do have my wife's salary. That is true, but I am set to bring home less than 27,000 a year for this whole year, and I'm fine. We're taken care of. So I think for if that's the minimum, so you're looking at like a Touche or a Nava, or a, I don't know, Sergei Samson, Sergei from last year. I think if you're looking at those guys, yeah, that's enough. I mean, where else? You're not going to make, with minimum wage being raised, sure, you might be able to make that doing something else, but these guys get to use the USL as a stepping stone, hopefully try to get to a higher pay by performing well. They get to play a game. And by no means am I saying it's not work because they bust their ass to do it. But I think as a first step for those kinds of players, I think it's just fine whether it includes the housing or not. It to me it is it's a decent amount to start off with since we are talking minimum. Now, if you're talking about a Kalen or a Weehan or a Dev or somebody that's been in the league for a while, then no. But I don't think anybody's going to Weehan and saying, "Hey, come play for us for 27,000 minus insurance, minus housing, plus a little bit of per diem." I don't think that's happening. So I think it. I mean, I think it has to be fair because this is what the players are fighting for. This is their what they want as a minimum. So they obviously think it's fair. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, I mean, every job's going to have its salary points. There's no way that I could go back and do something for in the same line of work for significantly less money. And so, like you said, guys like Kalen Bees, Dev, the guys who've been around, the guys who are experienced, surely they're making more than that. And with any luck, we're going to try to, again, I don't want to say anything like we are working on something, with the club. I've already talked to David about a couple things, and so haven't got anything settled yet, but looking at doing some things. So hopefully we can, get our foot in the door and kind of look at these things a little bit more in depth and kind of get a better idea of where things are at. And so, not a whole lot, not too much else going on.
I have a small list of USL based transactions that I just want to get you guys' initial thoughts off because like I said, I haven't been on for over a month. So I'm just gonna say the transaction, just quick reaction from you, Seth, and then from Earl. Mark Lowry leaving El Paso.
Mark Lowry leaving El Paso, that's a massive coup for Indy. No idea what Mark Lowry is thinking leaving El Paso.
Earl.
FIP.
Yeah, yes, that's what I wanted from Earl. Along the same lines, we have seen two players at least go with Lowry to Indy, in Brian Rebion and Mishak Jerome. Thoughts on those?
Farewell. Don't let the door hit you.
FIP.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted from Earl. My thoughts on those three real quick. El Paso's stupid for letting Lowry go. I think Mishak is going to be a huge loss for them that people might not realize. I mean, he was a center back for them, played almost every match that I can remember playing against them, was always in the right spot, is a big dude, just was a huge force back there, and losing him is going to be difficult. So Brian Marion can suck it. I hate that guy. So I don't have thoughts on him. But all in all, as a New Mexico United fan, I think this is hilarious and great news for us. We did see that Yuma came back, so we'll move to Yuma real quick.
I've got my fishing pole ready.
Yeah. Flopping like a fish. Earl.
FIP.
Good job. Santi signing a 2-year extension with Phoenix.
I don't blame him.
Earl.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't blame him. He was happy there, was able to actually get a lot of playing time. So good for him. Would have loved to see him come back, but good for him.
There was more. Hold on. Thinking. I'm thinking.
I've got one for the two of you.
Okay.
What is going on in San Antonio? They've lost Marcus Epps. They lost
That
Caleb
was the other one.
Lindley. Like, what is going on down there? And this, I wish Harry was in the chat for this one, but what is going on with San Antonio?
San Antonio is a club that I feel like has always had a lot of turnover. So losing those two, one, Epps was very overrated last year to me. I know he scored goals, but it seems like every time I watched them, he kicked the ball 20 yards over the net and was nowhere near scoring every single time. So that one, okay, he left. To me, San Antonio, if they have Jose Gallegos and they can build a midfield that can stay healthy, then they're going to be a solid club every year. That's just the way it's going to have to be, or just the way it would be. So, but yeah, Epps going to Phoenix, Lindley going to Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs also brought in a goalkeeper that was a 2001 goalkeeper of the year finalist.
They re-signed Galena too.
Yeah, they re-signed Galena. Barry's already under contract. He was already been announced. Colorado Springs is not going to be a club that I care to face much next year. I like what they're doing. All I'm saying is there might be a Colorado Springs scarf on my wall before the start of next season. I will not root for them when they play New Mexico United. I will root against them if we're fighting for a playoff spot with them. But if they make the playoffs and we do not, I will be rooting for them.
You know, I was just looking through the league transactions and I didn't realize that Locomotive had re-signed so many players already.
Yeah, Borelli's back. Richie Ryan's back.
Mares, Herrera, Loeb, Fox, Zacharias, Michael
Gomez.
King, Eder Borelli. Like, they've
Yeah.
re-signed like half their team already.
So what I did, guys, was I made an Instagram page that I don't post or anything on, but I follow every USL team and scroll through it. So when they announce their signings, so I see it. So El Paso has been pretty active. None that I'm like, oh my gosh, sucks that he's going back. I can't believe that. But I mean, you have your typical guys that they have coming back, and it is what it is. But they have been one of the more active in announcing their signings, especially recently, out of the other clubs. Sorry, my computer's about to die because we were supposed to be a fucking short podcast tonight.
Well,
Like
we
I
are
said,
still
it-
technically short, but anyway. So yeah, lots of stuff going on around the league. We'll have some more. Either I don't know. We'll figure out. We'll either be back the 28th or we'll be back after the new year. We'll figure that out. But appreciate you joining us here tonight, folks. We'll have the episode from a couple weeks ago when we interviewed Coach Steve Familetta. That's going to drop this weekend ahead of the NM Runners matches. Go check them out across social media on their own page. They are home New Year's weekend. So get out there to the Rio Rancho Event Center, cheer on the runners. Going to be a great season for them. Can't wait to be out there and covering them this season. So I think that's going to just about do it. Jacob, you want to get us out of here?
Yeah. My forehead appreciates the love and having you guys come on and watch and the comment section was a little quiet, but that's expected on an off season and then after a month of not really being here. So I hope that we can continue to provide you with content throughout this off season that you guys enjoy and we'll probably have some topics coming up. I'd love to talk about the CBA. Like I said, I'd love to talk about year one. Not the terrible Will Ferrell movie, but the first season of New Mexico United. And just continue to hang out with you guys. I missed you guys this past month. Like I said, there's a lot can happen in a month, and so we definitely need to not let it get that long again. And I hope that the listeners feel the same way, that they were sad that we hadn't all been together for over a month. So Merry Christmas, guys. Be careful out there. Hope you guys have a good holidays, and like Seth said, I don't know if we'll be back in 2 weeks or 3, but we will be back, and we will be just as off the rails as we were tonight, I'm sure.
So we'll be back in about 3 weeks because that's about the gravitational pull of your forehead.
Some bitch doesn't say 3 words the whole second half of the podcast because he was thinking of that the whole time. He was just trying to figure something out, and there it was. So kudos, Earl. I'm glad you had the 30 minutes to think of that while we actually carried the podcast, and so yeah.
Well, you see, you weren't here last week, so me and Seth had to carry the show. I mean,
It's a great show, though.
Seth, did your back hurt?
Yes.
Bit?
Yeah, it was pretty big.
A little stiff from carrying 2 guys on. Yeah, I know what you mean. Anyways, on that note, guys, have a good holidays. We'll see you in 2 or 3 weeks, and until then, somos amigos.